competitive and are working their way to getting competitive. And so to join us talking a lot about it, because I loved watching with what New York has been playing and where they're going. And it's just interesting in the NBA. So to join us, Chris Childs here on the program. I gotta say, Chris, the league itself, which we know with Adam Silver and the way that he has structurized it, and what we saw from this past final is we saw two small market teams from Indiana and Oklahoma City. Of course, it ain't like bigger TV like if you got an LA or a New York or a Boston, but it was classic because of the fact that we had two gridiron teams there that were playing competitively. And then in the end, Oklahoma City, they come out of this thing on top. What are we expecting about this season? Because New York, they got fire in the bellies. Philadelphia wants to make a statement themselves. So it's like a lot of these other teams are just kind of spurring up from the ground. But I think a lot of that is just Adam Silver having a parity type of structure for a lot of these NBA teams.
Yeah, you have to give them a lot of credit. A lot of people didn't want to see two small market teams in the finals. A lot of times that's not marketable sometimes, and they expect something different. But those two teams showed that regardless of the market they were in, the president, the GM, put together a team that can go out there and compete against anyone. It kind of reminds me of back in the day when the Oakland A's were winning with Billy Bull.
Yeah.
Just getting role players to come in and play. Yeah, you got your superstars, but you need those other guys to complement each other. And that's what they were able to do. I was at Game 5 in New York when we came back and won that game, and I hadn't been to a game in 25 years, so I was excited. But I knew it was going to be a tough hill to climb because they expended so much energy in Game 5. It was going to be tough to go to Indiana and win Game 6. So those two teams put on a show. I hate that Halliburton got hurt. I think it would have gave them a better chance, but Oklahoma City played unbelievable basketball, and now they're not such a small market because a lot of those guys got paid a lot of money.
Yeah, and man, what a beautiful reward it is for these players. And it's so good to see the Midwest teams are making a statement for themselves. I mean, the Pacers for so long, I mean, we watched, the Jalen Rose and the Reggie Millers and then to come all the way down to Halliburton and this speedy Pacers team. And then the Thunder, I mean, it felt like it was yesterday when we had KD and James Harden and all these guys. And it was like, man, now I got SGA and Chet Holmgren. So I just think the more and more I watch this with the NBA, because I loved watching it at a time back then in the 2000s and even in the late 90s where we had two guys. There were two guys you relied on, and the rest of them was all roster construction and coaching.
And you're absolutely right. And especially the era that I played in, other than the Chicago Bulls, who had a four-headed monster at times. Most teams had two, but then when we brought in Spree, even when I signed and Larry and Allen signed, it wasn't the same because it was still Patrick, but they were still trying to put pieces around him to get us over the hump. But you need three guys that are capable of taking over a game. Two, it all depends on who those players are. When you had LeBron and Kyrie, they were able to do it with some role players, but you're talking about two of the top 75 players to ever put on a uniform. So that's an exception. But for everybody else in the league, with the way that OKC is constructed, how Philly try to construct their team, how good is that rookie? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Sensational.
I mean, just the poise that he plays with and the pace and his patience on the offensive end. And then him be able to play passing lanes like he does defensively as a rookie It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it really is. When you think about, because I've been in New York about 6 times in my life. And, I've had family that live up and on the island. And I've had ever yet to actually catch a game, whether hockey or basketball at MSG. Like, I have yet to actually see the amazing roaring New York crowd as usual. It's classic. But watching the Knicks, and even when I saw this last year, I felt like there was a bit of some attitude that came back into this team, which was like, this is great for the NBA. You get a little more attitude in New York, and the Knicks are interesting. That's good for basketball. Now, the way in which it ended, which, Tibbs getting fired, they got to figure out a coach. They come in, and now the expectation is, and now it's a little bit tougher because we know, like, teams in the East, like, there's opportunities for teams to step things up. But I look at this roster and I love Jalen Brunson. I really do. And then you got OG Anunoby. To me, with Karl Anthony Towns, sometimes he gets me feeling a certain type of way because I know he can score, but it's like defensively, it's like, bruh, I need to stop. Be a pain in the butt up and in the middle where you got to be able to get the ball back. So when you look at this Knicks team, I mean, it's going to be a long journey road. But do you feel like with this team, there is something there that we can say, this team, they've learned from what they got last year, and they're going to be coming in. They're going to be coming in with some more fire in their bellies coming to playoffs.
Well, once you get a taste of it and you see the how the city responded to that team, you can see the energy of the guys that they fed off the fans. Because the team was interesting now. They were winning. They were doing things and playing the style of play that fans enjoy watching now. With Karl Anthony Towns, yes, he can score, but it's a way you score. To be that size, get us in the bonus early. Get us some fouls down low, get some of the big guys, the shot blockers, get them out the game. And now, if you're not hitting your threes, you can go in the post. But it seems like if he's not hitting his threes, the rest of his game doesn't elevate. And so, hopefully, over the summer, he did some soul searching, looked at some film, and picked the spots and see where you can score in parts of the game because they're pushing the ball up and down. But find the ways that you can help us get in the bonus early, and it's going to make you a little more comfortable because you see the ball go in the basket. Once you see the ball go in the basket, now everything else becomes bigger. But I didn't like the firing of Tibbs because he was my coach, my defensive coach when I was there. I know Mike Brown, seen him coach. I'm still wait and see attitude because it's still early, but I like the makeup of the team. I think we're missing one more long range shooter. Maybe a 6'7" wing that can stroke it, from three. And I think that'll complement and take some more pressure off the Jalen that he doesn't have to do it all every game. So I think we're missing one more shooter.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think this team, they get that, they'll be in great shape. And I think that's ultimately what we've always wanted with, allowing Jalen Brunson to do his stuff, but then not have to feel like that the Knicks have to lean on him a lot heavier than what they should, because that's where a lot of the expendability of the team itself comes into play. I talked about this. I had Matt Babcock, an NBA draft analyst here about about a month and a half ago at best. And I talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. One of the biggest things to me is that Joel Embiid, I can just see it, Chris. The knees are just not the same. However, I'm like, finally, they are figuring out it's not just Joel Embiid that they have to be able to build a lot of their core around. Tyrese Maxey's the star. Now, Jared McCain, hopefully they can get something right, but I still have a good belief in him. But that kid that they got, VJ Edgecombe, that kid's already looking like he is a future star, and he just fits Philadelphia very well. When should we start to see that with Philadelphia? Because this is a team in which I just looked at Daryl Morey, and I'm like, finally, you are understanding this after how long with this whole process? And now they're getting the gears rolling for these guys.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I know Mike Babcock from years playing against them, and but this the 76, I think Joel Embiid finally figured out that he doesn't have to shoot all the threes. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing I'm talking about with Towns. Find a way that you can fit these two stars that you have. If you get your team in the bonus early, that opens up the whole floor. They're not going to protect the basket no more. That's going to let these speed racers get up and down the court, get in the paint.
Yep.
Now if they get into the paint, put pressure on the defense. Now indeed, if you want to step out and shoot that shot, that's a better shot. But if we're coming down on a fast break and we kick it back to you and you stop at the 3 point line, we're not putting pressure. So usually last year, and I looked at a couple of games, they weren't getting into the bonus until almost midway through the second quarter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And you can't have that. You have to shoot free throws in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. You got to get in the bonus early. And
Mhm.
so if he does that, that team is going to be incredible because they have length, they have defenders that can guard the ball, and they have a big guy that nobody can stop when he puts his mind to it.
I agree. Yeah,
So if we
they got it.
yeah, they have the makeup, and I think they're one more post player away. Not sure if they got they have the one guy that played in the Olympics, the French guy,
Hmm.
but he's not a consistent scorer he's a hustle player.
Right.
That's going to get you extra rebounds. But I think if they can find another 6'9", 6'10" low post presence that can give you 12 and 5 a night, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Oh yeah. No,
So
it's a big difference maker. Um, Firing two quick questions up here for you. So I've grown up as a kid watching the Lakers. I mean, watching Shaq and watching Kobe and watching Phil themselves, and even watching the documentary of Winning Times. This a lot has changed up in Los Angeles. And honestly, Chris, I'm loving this
mm,
because it's what the Laker way was meant to be. Because it shaped up to where you watch the rivalry between LA and Boston, and then it still got into that way. But then it's like, what are the Lakers' identity now? Like past these guys and watching LeBron and such. Watching this front office that now is the same owners that own the Dodgers. They've got Shohei as their superstar, and you watch the shift now with the LeBron business and said, listen, Luka is our star. We are going to build around him. And we know that international stars, the pool is only going to get bigger. I'm still harping a lot for our domestic stars to step up to the plate and show, like, hey, this is our sport in our country, and yet we love it globally. But we got to be able to stand tall for our league. So when you think about the Lakers, we know the biggest title, the biggest chase is we are title town. We got to be that way. We can't just be a laughing stock circus for the next few years. We got to be able to do this now. So to see the shifts that they're doing, it's kind of giving me a little bit of some nostalgic vibes. Like, are the Lakers feeling kind of back at this point?
well, I mean, of course, they should feel that way. They're finally putting basketball minds in the front office that are able to make basketball decisions
Mhm.
that is best suited for the players that you have around. Now, when LeBron was a guy, he was able to pick players that he wanted to play with that will complement his game, and vice versa. Now with Luca being there and being a primary ball handler, scorer, and doing everything, and you have the other kid Reed. Uh, I forget the other kid's name, but they have the
Mhm.
makeup of a team because out west you can put LeBron at center.
Yeah.
You can put him point center, however you want to arrange it, and
Yeah.
they can go out there and compete against the Golden States and the Sacramentos, and I don't know. I mean, they can compete against San Antonio
Mhm.
with Wemby because he plays out on the perimeter
Yep.
a lot of the time too. Another unbelievably talented young player. But the Lakers, like I said, they have basketball minds now. They have a basketball mindset that the winning way that the old Lakers is you have to win. If you don't win, there's no way.
Yeah,
you,
exactly.
you gotta you have to have both of them. So
Yeah.
they just have good basketball minds. That's another city that is, if you're playing well and you're winning, they're gonna support you. If you're not, they're gonna let you know. So hopefully, what we're seeing will continue. Won't really know until after the All-Star break with the make of everything that's going on. But what I see right now, I love the tempo. I think defensively they have to get better.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, they have to take on us and play defense, especially in the fourth quarter, because they're giving up leads a lot in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes to go, and you can't do that against the great teams in that conference.
I agree. A final question for you before letting you go. I've noticed this change in the NBA where I love the fact that it is global. I absolutely love it. There's talent everywhere, no matter where you put your hand at when you're picking these players and finding talents to shape up your roster with your starting five and then up and on the bench. But this international pool, Chris, has really grown a lot bigger than even in the era that you played in. And so when you think of the Jokic's, the Lucas and Giannis and a lot of them, and they're coming, like they're all coming out here. And even when you're watching Shingun in Houston, like they got their they got their guy. And then you go ahead and mix up some of the complementary players that match around him. So I just am like this. If only the NBA and Adam Silver, if them and college hoops can get into a great, strong relationship like I watched the NFL and college, because you got guys that are getting drafted that are day one starters, and they're making
Hmm.
this 53-man roster. But when I watch basketball, we are slowly getting there. But I'm getting to a point where, like, if I want to learn about this player, I want to get to know them. And we watch that a lot when you got guys from Duke and North Carolina and your Villanovas and a lot of them. When you look at some of the smaller schools, I'm not going to bash them for it, but it's just you have a great player, you're trying to shape your program, but it's hard to compete that way when you got a lot of these bigger programs with the money, the NIL, and just they're going and getting these studs. But I'd love to see a lot more of just our domestic stars just stepping to the plate, taking ground, and not only just appreciating the fact that the league is global, but it's like I want to be able to see a lot of our domestic stars and be fans and because I got to know them up and in college.
Right, and like you said, the NIL deals, the transfer portal, all that stuff is kind of damaging the game because you might see a player on one team
Mhm.
1 year and then he's at another school because they're offering he had a good year and they're offering to pay him money like he's a free agent,
Yeah,
and that kind of hampers the game. And domestically, when I played and in that era when you had Sabonis and all Dirk and uh, Drazen Petrovic and all these great European players, we took offense to that.
yeah,
Like, we would make you pay. Like, you're not just going to come here and take over the sport that we, give our life to every day.
right,
Those guys over there, they can turn pro at 13, 14, 15, make money. So they're comfortable. So they're not struggling. They're not mentally having bad games. Well, they have bad games, but mentally they're not worried about it because you're getting paid.
right.
We weren't getting paid. In the CBA, I was making $500 a week before taxes with two kids.
Mm,
So that's the difference of the hunger and the opportunity to just play scot free because you don't have those worries or those responsibilities.
right.
And so as American players, we have to step up. We have to one work on our game more. We can't just be one dimensional now. You have to be three dimensional, almost four dimensional.
Yep.
But you have to be a student of the game. I don't see a lot of these players today that are students because I watch games and I'm like, I can't believe he didn't see that three plays before.
Yeah.
And these European players are coming over here with high basketball IQs and they're patient. They don't get rushed. They have a great pace to their game. They don't let other defenders rush them. But we just want to go one speed. And you don't become It's like I use baseball analogy.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan was an unbelievable pitcher. Threw
Hmm.
fastball, fastball, fastball. But he didn't become great until he was able to change speeds.
Hmm.
In basketball, you can be as fast as you want. Allen Iverson, he didn't become great until he learned how to change speeds.
Yeah.
So as I watch these European players, they don't get rushed. They take their time. They get you on their hips and they keep you there. And then either you're going to foul them or you have to commit and they'll make the right play.
Yeah.
And so that I mean that's I think that's what we need to get back to as being students of the game, learning where and how to get your points, how to get your teammates involved, and then just start taking it personal that these guys come over here and kick your butt.
Totally agree. If we get more of that, man, wouldn't the NBA just be exciting as hell every single year when we're just ready for tip off all the way to the finals? So of course, in the seasons of giving, you got a fantastic foundation, and especially for a lot of the youngsters and the kids. Tell us more about that for our audiences here, how they can contribute, and helping a lot of these kids out in the seasons of giving, especially when, we got Christmas right up and around the corner, and always a great gift to have for a kid who loves the game and wants to learn more about the game. And even for some that like they just love enjoying the season itself and just getting to kind of know, the fundamentals.
Well, a lot of times with this game that I love it with a passion still. Don't play anymore, but I love teaching.
Mhm.
And the one thing that really got me involved is a kid. You can tell a kid something, and it'll register sometimes, sometime it won't. But if they can actually touch it, then it has a different effect. So when I say that, it means that I played in the NBA for almost 11 years.
Mhm.
Me sitting down with these kids and going over what this game means to me asking them questions about what does the game mean to you, and it's my responsibility to put you in the best position possible to be successful at whatever level you want to be successful at. But
Yeah.
we talk about that basketball wise, but we also talk about life. That
Mhm.
my father had always told me, rest in peace. He said, when you leave the house, you're always auditioning for somebody.
Mhm.
Somebody's watching you. So be the best version of yourself because that's what they're going to remember. So I instill these in the kids that I teach the game of basketball, that I mentor, even if I see them around the street. I can feel their energy, so I know if I can approach them and talk to them, or if their energy is off, I won't. But most of the times, kids are acceptable to getting knowledge about life, getting knowledge about school, getting knowledge about the game of basketball, getting knowledge about the game of baseball. And in order for that to happen, you have to carry yourself a certain way so that you get your blessings. And that's what all I try to do is instill in them and give them hope.
Yeah. Oh, it's the greatest gift, and it's the best feeling that any kid and any family can honestly have, and especially in the days of giving as well. Like I always say, this is any time that people sit in the table that we eat at, everybody eats. Everybody gets an opportunity to sit, to learn, and even just enjoying just the comfortability, and even just being there, and just because that's all it is it's wrapping your arms around them and guidance,
Right,
and,
right.
and that's the most important thing. And so yeah, a lot of these kids, I think about every single one of them. Like, we go to our local church, and we have a lot of our outreaches and operations that we do with, as far as reaching out, gifting to a kid, and then feeding a lot of the needed families that are out there that don't even get to enjoy a Thanksgiving like a lot of us do. And so it's
Right.
the most amazing feeling. And that's the one thing we always love to spread and to support and to really help these families.
If we get back to loving one another, you saying the word love, yes sir, no sir, being
Mm-hmm.
polite to people, it takes too much work to be angry and be mad and be nasty to people. It's
Amen to that.
just start loving one another, man. Hey, how you doing today? I love you.
Yeah.
It's that doesn't cost you anything. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And you
Mhm.
never know how it affects someone because you don't know what they're going through during their day.
Yeah.
And I remember I was at the airport and I was checking my bags and asked the guy if he had some change. He said no, and I asked the other guy, he had some change. He had change for 100, and I gave this guy kept $20, and he said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, thank you so much," because I only had $2 in my pocket.
Mm.
I didn't know what I was going to eat, and so I gave him another 20. I said, "Well, hopefully this helps you today and tomorrow, and thank you." But that to see the look on his face and how happy he was, that's what this life is all about, man. Just start giving back and being nice to people, and watch how your blessings are just right there in your face from doing stuff like that, because it doesn't take a lot.
No, 100%. All it takes is one act of random kindness at a time. That's the
Absolutely.
most important thing. Chris, appreciate you and thank you for taking the time to come up and on here, sharing your expertise. And yes, a lot of people definitely check it out, guys, because it's a great cause and it's a lot of fun. And for a lot of the kids, especially around the area, you want to learn more about basketball and you want to learn more about life, definitely check it out for yourselves. It's a great cause. Chris, appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Enjoy it, and we will definitely see you around the corner while the rest of the season is still underway, and we're just only getting started.
Thank you. And they can reach me at goldenchilds@gmail.com, and then I'll guide them to where they need to get to talk to me personally. And congratulations to you, man, on having your child. I'll pray for you and your family that you have a healthy boy or girl. Do you know what it is?
Yep, it's a healthy boy. Yep,
There you
and
go.
it's funny because we got the room already set up, the nursery's ready. Now it's the waiting game. We're just ready to roll.
Right. All you got to do is get the cocoa butter and rub her stomach, man. You good.
That's right. Well, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the positive words, man. And we'll definitely see you soon. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too, man. Take care.
Absolutely. There you go. You got to love the seasons of giving. It's the most